Sea turtles are amazing animals, but now after millions of years, they're becoming endangered. Humans have positive and negative effects, and the Sea Turtle Hospital shows the best of us from catch to release.
The hospital had plenty of turtles, each with different names. Weston, Serp, Moon, Hunley, Sumter were a few. Also, they had many different stories.
We're putting an increasing number of sea turtles into our Sea Turtle Hospital every single year. Last year was our biggest year on record with 30 South Carolina admissions. And this year, in only 7 months, we've admitted 38 sea turtles. So, there are more people in the ocean, more pollution in the ocean, more boats in the ocean. Hopefully there are more sea turtles in the ocean from sea turtle conservation efforts working. We want to decrease the number of turtles coming into our hospital.
Usually the catch of the turtles isn't from the turtle hospital, but they're brought there. Then the hospital starts working on how to help them.
There are a lot of stories that really I remember so well. One of my favorites is an adult male loggerhead that was approximately 300 pounds. He was entangled in a crab trap rope that was entangled so badly around the shoulder that we had to amputate the front right flipper. And that animal made a miraculous recovery, and we were able to satellite tag it, which meant we could track its migrations, and we were able to see this animal migrate with a missing front flipper up into the Delaware Bay, to its feeding grounds, back into North Carolina for overwintering grounds for approximately a year. It just reminds me how tough these animals are. They have been around for millions, literally millions of years. It's because they are so tough and really miraculous.
The procedure in which they help the turtles may be surgery or medicine or both. Then after they're healed, they're taken to the beach to swim away.
The Turtle Hospital was an incredible and heartwarming place. Together, we can save the turtles.
This is an actual site where enslaved people were bought and sold in downtown Charleston. So in 1856, this site...
Okay, when did you write your first book?
I wrote my first book, True Stories of Black South Carolina, in 2008. It was a combination of old interviews I did back when I wrote for newspapers and radio shows. If you ever heard of Catfish Row, you probably heard about it in Porgy and Bess. Many years ago, back where, if you look in here, you'll see back where there's a water spout. A man by the name of Samuel Smalls, who was a disabled beggar, he used to ride his goat cart through here, and he would water his goat at that very spot. Well, he later became famous because not too long after that, on the night of March the 23rd, 1924, he was with his girlfriend, a lady named Maggie Barnes, and Maggie Barnes allegedly stole his watch. So you know what he did? He chased her in his goat cart and had his pistol up there, and he chased her down the street, pow, pow, pow! And so people were like, oh, what's going on? So he was arrested. And the Charleston newspaper called the News and Courier had a headline the next day saying, "Cripple arrested for firing at woman." This is probably the oldest theater in the whole United States. It was built in 1736, and in 1752, this is where the very first opera in the whole United States of America was performed. During the 1800s, it was known as the Planters Inn Hotel. And then later on, it became an apartment complex where black people stayed. And then in 1937, it returned to being a theater. There was a man by the name of Du Bois Hayward, who wrote the story Porgy and Bess that became famous about Charleston. And it was a very famous play about African American life in the city. In 1935, he collaborated with George Gershwin, who was a famous jazz composer, and Porgy and Bess became an opera. Now, by 1952, it was playing in Russia as well as other parts of Europe. But by 1954, it had not yet appeared here. There was an effort to get Porgy and Bess to appear first at this theater and then perhaps at Charleston County Hall in 1954. However, the cast insisted that blacks and whites should be able to sit together at this performance. Back then, the city didn't allow for that. So therefore, the performance was canceled. Now, Porgy and Bess did come to Charleston in 1970 at the Gaillard Auditorium, which is about a mile or so up from here. And that was one of the first events where blacks and whites socially mingled here in Charleston. Guess what? I was 6 years old then. And so, Porgy and Bess never appeared here at this theater until 2013. And guess what? I was in the audience that night.
Making a lot of money. How about you? I don't run a business.
Hey, did you find something? Yeah, what did you find? Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. How about you?
I got the Hobbit.
Cool. I found Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Is it okay if I read out loud? Sure.
I've been reading for a long time, and I found really good characters in the book. Have you guys found any good characters?
Not yet.
My favorite characters so far are Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Guys, did you hear that noise? Actually, my favorite character is Severus Snape. That noise again.
This would be good for your YouTube channel.
Guys, I'm getting really creeped out about this.
Me too. My favorite character is Bilbo Baggins.
Did you see that?
Bilbo?
It went in the roll.
Bilbo.
Bilbo! Bilbo! What was that, guys? We should check this out. Oh no! Wait, he's cardboard. I can't do CPR. Oh, this looks like Sherlock's knife. Why would it be here?
Did I hear my name?
Okay. Did you kill Bilbo?
Of course not, my dear.
Then where were you?
I was at my office.
But your office is 10 blocks from here.
I took my private jet into the airport that's right on the bottom floor of my office that's in China. That's
Wait, that doesn't exist. Get him! Why, Sherlock? You were such a good guy. Why Bilbo?
it's elementary, my dears.
Harold Jacobs and his family first opened Harold's Cabin in 1929. From humble beginnings as a snowball shop, the store evolved into Charleston's first gourmet grocer with over 300 varieties of cheeses and other specialty items. Recently reopened by John Shoemaker, today Harold's Cabin provides fresh, local food in its original location on the corner of Presidents and Congress.
I spend enough time here that it feels like a home to me, so I'm here every day. And I guess my favorite part of it was finally getting the doors open and letting people from the neighborhood. There's some people in their late 80s and early 90s who used to come to this location as a kid, and they used to get snowballs and they used to get pickles, and they remember Harold and Lily and serving them. That's the part that makes me smile the most. Well, we wanted to keep the shape the same of the building, and then downstairs there was no foundation, so it just meant it was on dirt, and we brainstormed on the fact that we wanted it to look like a cabin. And the lights we had here, we wanted it to look like it was outside, so it looked like fireflies. So we just wanted to make it look cozy and comfortable, like if you go to a cabin with your family and friends. And one of the reasons we like this location is we're in the neighborhood. We want people who live down the street just to feel comfortable and walk in. We see a lot of people with baby strollers or with their dogs just walking around the neighborhood, and they just want to pop in and grab something to eat. Or we sell grab-and-go food and drinks, so they can just grab them and go. So it's nice to have the neighborhood come in, and it feels like a family when they come in. I would say we serve what's called a forage board, and it's seasonal produce. So it has a little bit of fruit on it, and it has a lot of vegetables that are prepared in different ways. And we have a rooftop garden that's right out the door there, and we use some of the food and the produce that we grow on there, and we can put it right on top of the dish. So it's really fun. Like, we can walk out that door and pick a cucumber or a tomato and walk straight down the stairway, wash it, and give it to the chef, and he can put it on someone's plate right when it comes out. Our concept behind Harold's Cabin was we wanted the produce to be the center of the plate, and the protein to still be on the plate but not be the star of the show. So in order to do that, we felt like it was important that we had vegetables and herbs going on the roof. And plus, it's a lot of fun when people come and they can just walk straight outside, and it just brings a smile to their face because they see everything growing and they know it can end up on their plate. It's really rewarding. They char it with the torch, and they put it in the drink.
I really enjoyed recording behind the scenes and being in the garden at Harold's Cabin. What did you enjoy?
I really liked just the whole decor and format of the restaurant. It was really homey and welcoming. I also loved the rooftop garden too.
Taking pictures and filming the rooftop garden was probably my favorite part. Everything there was just so beautiful.
I had so much fun leading my group through the process of making documentary films. Backpack Journalist was so great.
My name is Brad Davis, and I am the Community Relations Specialist for Hendrick Automotive Group in Charleston and North Charleston. But when I'm not working, I'm a mini racing fanatic. My biggest influence on starting racing, my brother liked sports cars, and when I was young, he took me to a sports car race, and I saw all the cars racing and went, wow, that's something really neat. I'd really like to do that one day. And so that's what got me excited. And I've always been kind of mechanically inclined. I worked on my bicycle when I was riding a bike, and I always liked working with my hands and parts. And it was just kind of a natural thing for me to get in the car business and to hang around races and then one day get the opportunity to race myself.
So, what makes a Mini Cooper so fast?
Well, the Mini Cooper is fast because it's fairly small and it's very quick. It's not fast straight line, but it's very quick in the corners and turns because the wheels are out in the far corners of the vehicle. And so all the weight is in the middle between those wheels, so there's nothing to hang over to shift the weight. So it has a very low center of gravity. The weight is down close to the ground, and that means it can handle and turn very quickly and very precisely. And so even though it's pretty quick in a straight line, it's really known for its handling, so turning. And the type of racing we do, road course racing, has a lot of turns in it.
Okay, so why race Mini Cooper instead of a different car?
Well, I got the Mini Cooper franchise for Mr. Hendrick from Mini of Charleston, and I was working there. I'm now the community relations specialist, but I was the managing partner in that dealership. And Mini has a history of racing. They have raced since the 50s when they first came out. In the 60s, they won the Monte Carlo Rally 3 years in a row, and they just have a real racing heritage. And a lot of people that buy Minis want to race or want to do track days or autocrosses, other events that they can do with the car with a little bit of high-speed driving because the car is so much fun to drive. It's very easy to drive, very safe to drive at a little quicker pace, and it's just exciting.
So what is your best advice for someone who wants to start a similar business to you?
Anything that you have a passion for, what you want to do if you have a passion for a business, for the car business or for racing, is get involved.
Okay, that's all the questions I have for you.
Well, thank you very much.
It's nice meeting you.
It's nice meeting and talking to you.
New York City, but I was born and raised in Hollywood. You ever heard that place?
Yes.
That's me.
What was it like to grow up in New York?
It was terrific. I learned so many things about life and being raised up in New York. You see, and the thing became big for me when I became an adult. A lot of things I learned from New York.
As a child, did you have an interest in boxing or any other sports?
Well, as a child, I was into the dance. My twin brother and I used to dance, tap dance. And so one day I went by the gym and I seen these kids in the ring. I was 12 years old. And I saw it was exciting to me. I told my twin brother about it. We both went in there to try to get on the team. But my twin brother didn't want to box. But I continued boxing at the age of 12.
Did your family support your interest in boxing?
Oh yes, my mom, look, she didn't think I was fat enough. My mother was trying to make me bigger, you know. She said I need to be bigger and all. My mom, in fact, my mother was one of my best fans. She was cutting all my fights. That's right. Let's see. I think I might have been about 16 years old when we really started boxing competitive back in the New York Golden Gloves, those type of tournaments. Yeah, I was 16 years old. That's right.
What was your experience like in the Navy?
Oh, it was terrific. Oh, for the first 2 years it was rough. But I had to learn how to do a lot of things. Read a book to me, you know? Then after that, I learned really how to do certain things as a book to me. Oh, I started excelling. I was doing so great. My last 2 years, I was the Commodore's gig. The Commodore's gig is the person that drives the Commodore's boat. That was the best job any CD could have got. And I had that one.
Who were your favorite boxers throughout your life and how did they inspire you?
Well, that was a very good question. I like that. There was a gentleman by the name of Sugar Ray Robinson. And another one by the name of Joe Louis. They were my idols. All these pictures were taken here where I've been here in the South. I got a few pictures that were taken in the North. But I added, but most of these pictures here are kids right from the South, from this boxing program.
So how did you get your nickname Hollywood?
That's a good question. One day I went in the gym. Of course, the gym I'm thinking about was in New York. It was called the Kennedy Center. And the kid said to me, he said, you know, that owl is so old-fashioned. Why can't we call you Hollywood? And I looked at them and I said, wow. I went home and told my mother. I said, Mom, I said, the kids at the gym want to call me Hollywood. And so Mama said, oh, that's a good name. So I stuck with it. So you see, I'm going to tell you another reason why. When I talk to the kids, tell them about how I used to tap dance and different things like that, they always, all of them want to try to put me in Hollywood. So they gave me the name. Oh.
So you came to Charleston for a few years in the 50s, then went back to New York. What made you return to Charleston?
Now that's another good question. When I left Charleston in '54, I had no idea of ever coming back to Charleston. No, I said, well, this is it. I left Charleston, I was going back home, and I was ready. Because you see, during that period, it was segregation. It was hard for me to really adjust to that segregation living, you know. But after I went back home, and I got involved and working with the youth in Harlem, and then next thing I know, I started doing a lot of traveling. Then something got to me. I realized that maybe my talent to teach this boxing had to go a little further.
What inspired you to open a boxing studio?
Well, I had to have some place to train these kids. So I used to ride around with a punching bag and a truck on my car. I used to hang it up at the playground and told the kids that one day I'm gonna have a boxing gym for you kids. That was in the late '70s. And in '83, I was able to come up with this building right here and have a gym for these kids.
How do you think you inspire young boxers?
Well, I tell them, I don't tell them dreams. I tell them about a lot of things that they can participate in, things they can do. But I don't tell them no dreams. I let them understand anything that they're going to get from this boxing program, they have to earn it. And boy, oh boy, I did so good with these kids. I did wonderful with them.
How did you feel when you were given the Lifetime Achievement Award?
Well, I knew that was a hell of an accomplishment for me because no one had ever believed that I could put all this much time in this one building here. I was really surprised. He was all right because you see, when I first came to Charleston with my boxing program, and he said to me, he said, oh, Mr. Maggie, he says, this is wonderful. He said, can I share this with my council members? I said, sure, go ahead. When I came back to see him again, he told me that everyone's program was wonderful, but he didn't have enough money to implement my boxing program. And I told him, I said, well, Mayor Raleigh, if you give me a building to house this boxing program, I said, I'll get the funding. And guess what? It's that way right now. I got the building, but I need the funding now.
Who do you think the best boxer is in your opinion?
In my opinion, the best boxer. Wow. There's been so many great boxers in my time. See, I've been around a long time. I mean, I was a little fella. There was a lot of great fighters I admired. There's so many of them. So many great boxers. But in my books is Sugar Ray Robinson and Joe Louis. Muhammad Ali, he was like, to me, he came along at a time when I could say, well, he was a great man. He wasn't my boxer, but I admired him because he did all the things he said he was going to do. That's why I admired him so much. People say he was great in his boxing, but I took his greatness outside of the ring, as far as my feeling.
How much do you enjoy boxing?
Can't you see it? It's on the wall. If you look on the wall, and if I told you I spent 33 years of my life in this building, you know I enjoyed it a lot. Thank you.
I have a lot of people who come to me and say their dream was to open a restaurant, or they want to open a restaurant. I never had that dream. I really opened it so I could talk about Justine.
A gypsy Django from the east in a caravan on a Paris street. I said, oh, now.
A lot of people don't understand the relationship, but some people think it's not a good thing that an African American, actually an Indian, she was mixed, spoiled me rotten and took care of me, and that was her job. But I think she enjoyed it, and she took care of my mom 6 weeks before my mom was even born. And then she took care of the 4 of us. And we have a true relationship. And I wanted people to understand that relationship. So the only way I could talk about it was through the restaurant. So we did the whole theme about Justine. Not to draw people in, it's more the food is to get people's attention so that I could talk about her. And our relationship sort of had food involved. She would cook in our house and with my mom and my grandparents, and I just thought food is an important thing because people sit around and, like I said, talk and have dinner. Opened in Justine's honor. She became ill at about 110. I tell people it wasn't that she was sick, it was kind of like her battery was failing, and I just thought she was going to pass and that people wouldn't know that she was here. The food is local yokel, I call it, or Charlestonese. Well, a lot of people come here for the fried chicken and the fried pork chop. We do like collards and butter beans and green beans, and of course we have like mashed potatoes and macaroni and cheese, and we call macaroni and cheese a vegetable. Because I tell people, they go, macaroni and cheese is a vegetable? I go, yes, it grows from the ground. We actually have the same size spoon as when we started because I knew nothing about the restaurant business. But I thought if we made it, then I didn't want people to come back later and say, I got a bigger portion when I was here 20 years ago. And I say, no you didn't, I still have the same spoon. Okay. Well, actually, the trinkets kind of get overwhelming at times because we have to clean them all. But a friend of mine, when we first opened, called the day we opened and said, you should go out and get some salt and pepper shakers so you could start a collection. And I was like, we're opening a restaurant today. I can't go get salt and pepper shakers. But I didn't know we needed a business license. So we're supposed to open at 11, but we opened at 5 o'clock. Because I had to go get a business license. So I have plenty of time to buy a few salt and pepper shakers. And the rest came from customers. They come in the mail, they come, if they want to cheat in the line, they bring some. Or just, some people are bringing them every time they come, locals and tourists. So that's where the salt and pepper shakers collection came from. And the other things came from people who cleaned out their house, you know, their attic or they would want to get rid of things, but it might have meant something to them, so they don't want to throw it out, so they bring it here because they know they can visit them. And that's pretty much why all this stuff is here. Well, Justine's is a community restaurant. We care about our community, the people around us. Sometimes we get more involved with the community than we do the customers, which are our community. We have a lot of local people, and we opened up with a rule: if you like it, please tell 3 people that you like it, and if you don't, tell us so we can fix it. And that spread, we never advertised. So we have locals mixed with tourists. We have, for example, the hotel across the street, when it was built, the workmen all ate here. Now people who stay there eat here. And we do get really busy, like when school's out during the holidays or during the summer, so people talk about our lines, and we do have big lines, and they're mixed with tourists and locals, because at 100 degrees, lots of times the tourists don't want to come. I mean, the locals don't want to come because it's too hot. But they come when they have company. But during the season when it's not the middle of the summer, we're mostly local. And that's how they hear about us, really, is through the locals telling the tourists. I do have a son. He's definitely not going in the restaurant business. He said that it's too hard. He loves to come eat. I take it one day at a time. I want her memory to keep going, and so that's why we're here. But I really don't know what's going to happen in the future. Today I'm here, and I'm going to do my best, and we have terrific people working here and terrific people in the past who've helped us get here every single day, and I'm grateful to all those people, and I'm grateful to the firemen who come running if we need anything, and to my regular customers and the people who come to visit. They pass the word on.
It's just a way to reach people's soul and their heart, and that's what I hoped for, was people would walk in and they just get the warm feeling that's here. And food gives you the warm fuzzies of chocolate and coconut cream pie, and the feelings of when you put that taste in your mouth and put the lives of someone. And that's the passion here.